Hi, welcome to Matson Financial. We have an Avoiding Scams and Fraud webinar that we wanted to showcase right now. I'm Laurel Stewart, Vice President here of Matson Financial. And with me today is Corey Davis, one of our investment advisors as well, covering this topic. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. And on this next slide, you're going to see a little bit of the agenda about what we're going to cover today. So according to the National Council on Aging, a 2022 article, they had this article called The Top 5 Financial Scams Targeting Older Adults. And those top 5 are government impersonation, sweepstakes and lottery scams, robocalls and phone scams, computer tech support scams, and grandparent scams. But also, in addition to, Corey and I wanted to discuss what happens if you are a victim of a scam or if you have your identity stolen.
All right, to get started here, the first common type of scam is a government impersonation scam. So with a government impersonation scam, typically what happens is the caller pretends to be from the IRS, Social Security Administration, or Medicare, or the three main ones, could be any type of government entity. They say that the victim or the person taking the call has unpaid taxes or premiums due for Medicare or some other type of bill owed to the government, and they'll threaten to send the police or FBI or someone else to arrest the victim if they don't pay immediately. They may also say that they need your personal information or your benefits could be cut off, just anything to get either information or money from you, and they pretend to be the government to scare you into giving that information. They may ask for payment via prepaid credit card, cash, wire transfer, gift cards, going to an ATM, any out of the ordinary, untraceable way that they could get you to send them money. Well, first off, the IRS, Social Security, Medicare will not contact you by phone, especially if it's for an unpaid bill or anything like that. Most communication is done through letters, through the mail. They'll never ask for payment over the phone if you are talking to them that way. And basically, if it's an IRS scam, if you ever get a call or letter from the IRS saying that you owe money, we always recommend you use your tax preparer or a tax preparer to respond to that correspondence. Don't just send money back based on the letters you get. Also, none of these agencies have the power to send anyone to arrest you. They're not the police. They can't just tell someone to come arrest you for not paying a bill. They will just continue hounding you if it's real. To get the unpaid bill, they're not going to send someone to your door to arrest you. Basically, what's important is if it seems strange or rushed or you're just not sure, hang up and ask somebody or call us, and we're happy to tell you what we think, but they're never going to pressure you to pay right at that second if it's actually a government entity who's calling you.
All right. Next up, we have sweepstakes and lottery scams. So when it comes to the state lottery doesn't contact you if you're actually a winner, right? You go check those numbers somewhere to see if you are a winner. And keep in mind, if you do win something, you don't pay for that prize. So sometimes they try to trick you to say, hey, we're calling you, you won $30,000, but in exchange for that, you need to send us $5,000. So don't let that catch you up. Remember, if you win something, you should win it outright. And also, it is not valid if a company asks you to pay them in gift cards or visit an ATM to withdraw funds. That's something, like Corey said, and we're going to keep reiterating, people are very good at what they do, and they're going to try to get you in any means possible. So just keep in mind, no gift cards, no ATMs, nothing of that nature. And next up, we have robocalls and phone scams. So like I had mentioned there, they are very crafty and they recruit really well to use these high pressure sales tactics. And usually what they'll say is, hey, you need to act now, right? We have this limited time offer. Or if you don't say yes and you don't take your earnings or your winnings, we're going to call the next person and you missed out. So best thing to do is, first of all, if you see an unknown caller coming into your phone, don't answer, right? Let it go to voicemail. If it is somebody that you know, they'll leave a voicemail and you can respond back to them in a timely manner. And keep in mind, they're going to continue to call, especially if you answer the first time. They're going to think they hooked you, and now they're going to keep targeting you. Another thing you can look at doing is contacting your phone provider and ask them to block the number. I know on iPhones specifically, I can also block somebody on my end, but if you're not privy to that information, feel free to contact somebody, through Verizon or whoever your phone carrier is. And I will make a mention, I just learned recently here with Christmas coming up that purchasing gift cards, if you go to a store, a lot of places now will ask you, did anybody send you here? And when they asked me, it really caught me off guard. And I had said, no, I'm just, making a purchase for somebody as a gift. And they said, okay, well, we have a new policy in place because we've seen a lot of adults coming in and elderly, and they're saying, hey, I need to help so-and-so, and I'm going to pay via gift cards. So keep in mind that you might get that question too.
All right, computer tech support scams. So this one's becoming more common. We actually had a client who was a victim of one of these recently, which is one of the reasons it's in here. So with a computer tech support scam, you'll either get an email, instant message, or a call from the scammer to say that your computer has a virus and that you need to act quickly. And usually that they're calling from your antivirus software company to help you with that. They may ask you to let them remotely access your computer to fix it for you. What they typically do is they create a scenario where they tell you that they're sending you a reimbursement or money that you're owed because you were scammed. Then they send you, or make it look like they sent you too much money, and then tell you that you need to send the extra amount that they sent you back. What happened with our client is that exact thing happened where she was contacted by them. They told her they were fixing it and that her antivirus software also pays her when she has a virus to reimburse her for her troubles. They pretended that they had sent her too much money and told her that the person who sent it to her was going to get fired unless she immediately, very quickly got the money sent back to them, which is the next point there. They're going to make you feel rushed so that you don't have time to think about if it's legit or not. They just want you to go and get them this money. They will ask you to pay them in what seems like a strange way. So either a wire transfer through an ATM, which is what happened to our client, with gift cards, or through remote access with your bank. And again, they're going to create a scenario where someone's going to get in trouble, somebody's going to get fired, so you need to get this money back to us right now. They don't want you to have time to think about what's going on. They just want you to send them that money. And basically what happens is it turns out they never actually sent you money in the first place, and then they just convinced you to send them money back, and you'll never see that money again or hear from them again. Your antivirus company is rarely going to call or message you. Typically with antivirus software, the software detects the virus and then alerts you, and either the software tries to get rid of it or they'll ask you to reach out to them. So again, important, if you've never purchased antivirus software and someone calls you saying they're from Norton Antivirus or another one of those commonly known companies, it's probably a scam because they're not just randomly monitoring your computer. You do have to pay for it. They will never ask you for money as you pay for the antivirus software already. You don't need to pay them again to get rid of the virus, and they're not going to just send you money because you had a virus. We're saying it over and over again, but if you're not sure when you're on that call, hang up the phone and call someone you trust. You can call your antivirus company if you have that antivirus software using the phone number that you should already have that came with the software to see if it was them reaching out to you. But again, if it seems strange or slightly off, hang up. They're not going to refuse to help you because you didn't take that first call or anything like that. So hang up if you think it's strange and call them back to see if it was legit. And then finally, we have grandparent scams. These scams, the scammer is going to contact you and pretend to be a loved one who needs something. So common ones, they'll call as a fake collect call and make it sound like it's coming from a prison. They'll say they need money to pay for college right away, or they need money for other emergency reasons. A common one of these scams is they'll call, and instead of telling you who it is on the phone, they'll say, hey, do you know who this is? And then you'll say, oh, is this Tim, your grandson? And now they know the name of your grandson, so they can act like your grandson and get money out of you. And other times they will just be trying to record your voice. So if you say yes, they now have a recording of your voice saying yes, and they can use that to access online banking and things like that, where you vocally would say yes in the system to get access. So again, if you get a strange call from a family member saying that they're in jail or they need money, and you don't typically get those calls from that family member, hang up and call that family member back at the number that you know them by to see if it was actually them or another family member, just to verify that information.
All right, so we're going to talk about some preventative measures. So something interesting you may not know is that identity theft reimbursement is sometimes an add-on to your home insurance policy. So feel free to contact your auto and home insurance agent, ask that question, have them review just for peace of mind to know that it's on your policy. Because in that scenario Corey had mentioned earlier, this was an add-on to that client's policy and she was made whole. So there are some safeguard, some measures there. And if you aren't 100% sure with what's happening, if it was in fact a call or a scam, make sure you hang up, call a trusted family member or our team. We're here to help you, talk through different scenarios that came about. But overall, do not send money to an unknown party. They're going to make you feel rushed. Take your time, talk through it to see if it is legitimate. And also, if you're a victim of a scam, you can contact APS, Adult Protective Services, in your area. You can see that number right here, 800-677-1116. And that way you can find your local APS. Here locally for us in Michigan, that's the Health and Human Services. You'll see that line there. And also, you should report this to the Federal Trade Commission, as that will help prevent future scams. Now, this won't assist you with your specific situation, but at least you can notate that for the future.
All right. And then if you believe that your identity has been stolen, one of the first places you can go is identitytheft.gov. There's a lot of good information there as far as what to do in that situation, and some reporting that you can do there as well. It's always a good idea to make a police report if your identity has been stolen, but then importantly, make sure you're monitoring your credit. So you can check your credit with Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, the 3 credit reporting agencies. And for all 3 of those, you can add fraud alerts or freeze your credit if needed. And from personal experience, if you put a fraud alert on one of those credit agencies, they'll automatically contact the other 2 to let them know that your identity has been stolen as well, which is a great idea if you think that's happened, so that no one can take out credit cards in your name or anything like that.
We hope you found this very helpful. We just want to reiterate some of the processes that we have here at Matson Financial. And that's when we have clients that will, send us emails to say, Corey or Laurel, I'd like to take $5,000 out of my account. We do have our own preventative measures here. We'll ask that you give us a call to the office so we can verify it's you, as we have been able to prevent several scenarios. One specifically I wanted to bring to attention here is we received an email that a client was in Australia, right? They were on vacation out of the country, and we had asked them to call us to verify, and they said, no, we can't call. Hours are different. I don't have access to a phone, etc. And we said, we're sorry, but we have to stick with our policies and procedures. And come to find out, we did get a hold of the client. They were not out of the country. It was not them. So there are just lots of different ways that people are accessing your information online, as we're very tech heavy. All of our lives are very tech heavy right now. So just wanted to bring that to your attention, and keep in mind that technology is moving rapidly, right? And scammers are very good at what they do. So we will be that trusted resource to help you through any of these situations. Hopefully you found this helpful, and you can simply email us too if you have any follow-up questions at info@matsonfinancial.com. And don't be afraid to share this with your loved ones, especially those of you who have older parents or aunts, uncles, etc. Please feel free to share this with them or have that conversation to make sure you can take that preventative measure. Thanks for watching, everybody, and hopefully you have a Merry Christmas.